you, sir. My name is Inigo Sola, and I'm an art historian. I have a question for you, sir. I was very pleased with your speech yesterday before the General Assembly, but I was slightly confused by one point. During your speech, you talked a bit about the student movement just as you did today, and you referred to the cause as a great, noble, and beautiful cause, if my memory doesn't betray me. Now, I must say that I was fairly surprised because that is not what the Chilean government has been telling the students in Chile. On the contrary, it has been saying the exact opposite. It has either belittled their demands or demeaned them or just plainly ignored them and suspended the right to assembly, in some cases extremely forcefully repressing the gatherings. So basically my question is does this reflect a change in policy on your behalf? Will you sit down with the students and listen to their demands without any conditions as they have requested? Thank you, sir.
One American that ran for president of the United States once said that everybody has the right to have their own opinions, but not their own facts. So let me start by disagreeing with the facts that you have pointed out. First of all, we have never repressed the right to gathering or to protest, because that's a constitutional right. And we also have our First Amendment, and we are a very respectful government, and particularly of the great law of the land. And therefore, students have manifested in the last 4 months more than 100 times in all the cities and streets of our country, and they would have never been denied that privilege. So the first fact that you point out, I think, is wrong. Second, we have never repressed them. Actually, there has been 550 people injured during the protests that have taken place in the last 4 months. 510 of them are policemen, and only 40 of them are civilians. So, of course, we have to keep public order, because that's another responsibility. So, I think that you have started with two wrong assessments, but let me go to the central part of it. Of course, I think that the cost of improving the quality of education in Chile is a great, noble, and beautiful, and urgent cost. And we agree with that 100%. That's why our government is undertaking the major educational reform that should have been undertaken many years ago by the former government. And we're doing that, even though we're not part of the problem. We want to be part of the solution to the educational sector in our country. But of course, we fully agree that we need to undertake a huge, a major, a Copernican reform of our educational sector. And we're doing that. I don't have the time here to express everything that we've done in terms of changing the system, the law, improving the financing, improving the quality. But there's one thing I would like to mention in this respect. We have committed all the resources necessary for this. Not only the normal budget of the Ministry of Education, but we have committed $4 billion on top of the regular budget in order to finance this major reform. $4 billion in Chile. You have to multiply that by 200 to compare that with a US figure. And we have some disagreement with this group. And I have no problem in speak openly about those disagreements. They are asking for many things. One thing they're asking for is free education for everybody. We agree that we should guarantee free education at the lower levels, before schools, because then we can correct these inequalities before they become absolutely irreversible. At the school level, but at the university level, we think that education should be free only for those people that really need it. Because we don't think it's feasible, and we don't think it's fair that we use taxpayers' money, particularly taxes paid by the poorest, to finance the education of the richest. And that's a disagreement. And in the democracy, we have to learn to live with disagreement. And the way to solve them is not with Molotov bombs or drugs or violence. The way to solve it is using our democratic system, which is what we have been proposing them from the very first moment. And the second difference, and disagreement, is that we believe that the government should never monopolize the educational sector in the country, because that would be a threat to freedom, to quality, and we believe that both the private sector and the public sector should participate in the educational sector. The government is responsible for the quality of both sectors. The government is responsible for financing through scholarship or loans to all those students that need those scholarships and loans, but the government doesn't have the right to take away from the parents the right to choose, or from the students the right to choose when, where, and what they want to study. Those are the two differences. So I will repeat today once again that the cost to increase and improve the quality of the education is not only a great, noble, and beautiful cost. It's the main mission